part of this interview.
All right. Thanks, Chuck, for having me, man.
Yes, sir. You doing all right today?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Good, good.
We've been planning this.
Yes, sir.
So we finally get into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Man, I wanted to have you on to sit down with you to have a conversation about our family's history, the Brooks family's history, that hopefully you could take us back as far as you could remember, to shed some light on our history.
All right. I'll do the best I can.
Yes, sir. So let's start right here. Where were you born?
Norfolk County, Virginia.
We call it Norfolk City today, but it was Norfolk County
Norfolk
back then.
County back during the day.
Right. So what were your parents' names?
Charles and Rilla Brooks.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
Got you. So being a younger you, like 13, 14, how was it for you growing up in that household?
That household, 13 and 14, it was great. It's something that, a lot of people say they want to go back to their past. That's something I would love to do. I do, and I had great parents, good parents.
Was it more simpler back then? Like, not easier, but like today we got a whole lot of stuff, computers and all that. So it was more simpler growing up back then.
Well, I think it were. You didn't have a whole lot to compete with.
Right.
It's just everyday life. Your neighbors and your parents, everybody about on the same level. And that's just my opinion. Everything. It was. I enjoyed my life back there at 13 and 14.
Growing up.
Growing up, I played a lot of baseball, and basketball, street ball, we call it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You had a lot of sisters and brothers growing up.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I had 11 sisters and brothers, and which is 12 of us, but one of us, one of them, my mother kid died when about 2 years old. And so that left 11.
Got you. Can you name them all?
Sure, I can name them all.
Go for it.
Yes, sir. Nicknames or just
all
their
of
name?
it.
All of it. Okay. We had my brother Feuder, which is Ernest James Brooks.
Okay.
Then my brother Bob, Robert Lee Brooks.
Right.
Then you had my sister. I'm naming them in order, which is Ella Mae, which her name is Mary Ella Brooks. Then you had my spook daddy, which is Eugene Brooks. Then you had Duke, which is your daddy, Charles Melvin Brooks. Then you had Cool, which is Vernon Lee Brooks. Then you got myself, DeRayford. Then you had Andrew, which we call him Reverend. Then you got Marvin, my sister Cynthia Brooks.
Okay.
Then you got Marvin Brooks. He was next. Then you got the baby boy, which is Larry. Larry Tyrone Brooks. It's,
wow, good memory, man.
Good memory. And we had my brother that died with Lironia.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Brooks. You don't remember him,
No. He was in between Duke and Spook, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, between him and between your dad and Spook. According to what my mama would say.
Got you. So how was it with so many brothers and sisters in the house, man? How was that? Was it fun? Y'all argued all the time. What was that like?
I said it was fun.
Okay.
But we did argue, but it was still fun. I mean, if today you go back and think about it, it was fun. Yes, sir.
Wow.
It was fun. You got your older brothers, they were in sister, they more or less looked out for the younger brothers. And if you think about it, everybody out there during that time was poor, but we didn't realize we were poor. And my mom and daddy, we come up in twos. Okay, you take the boys, fruit and Bob, whatever they buy them, it would pass down to Duke and Spooky. Then you take, after Duke and Spooky, whatever they got, Cool and myself. We would take it. Everything would pass down that. Yeah.
So they would outgrow it.
Outgrow it, right. Pass it down.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Amazing, man.
I would think I thought it was just go back and during them days, it's just sweet life.
Got you.
You ain't had no lot of worries, you ain't had no headaches. When I say that, you didn't have to worry about keeping up with the Joneses because I done Crestwood then. Everybody's on the same level,
Yeah. Wow. So like you say, Duke being my father, he was the junior, Charles Jr.
Charles Jr.
I'm the third.
Third, yeah.
So how was it with you living with him in the same house? How was that? You know, what do you remember of my dad growing up?
Well, growing up with your dad, Duke, it was good. And Duke was the, I say, engineer.
Okay.
During that time, he used to build the carts, the go-karts.
Okay.
And he had his own way of doing it. He would, matter of fact, he built 4 or 5 of them.
Go-karts.
Go-karts.
Put the wheels on them too.
With the wheels on them too. Then he'll take a bean can or whatever, and he'll bend the back of it and put it up there, then the headlights. And, you know, and, and you know, and then Duke was the person that he made sure that we, as a family, kept warm. You know, he had to take Cool and myself, you know, and go in the woods and cut the wood and bring it home, and you know, and get it prepared for my mama to heat the water up so she can wash the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you go out there and cut the wood.
Cut the wood and bring it back. Yeah.
Wow.
Bring it back. Yes.
Now I know.
And we had to build it. We had to build it. He built a cart, then we'll put the wood on top of it. You know. You know.
Yeah. So now I
he
know.
pushes. We stirred. He back there pushing. It take that.
Yeah.
And sometimes he would take him a little pole and put on it so he would have bent over.
Right.
And run with it. You know, pushing it. Yeah.
Wow. Now I know why. Growing up, he would put stuff on my bike, make it seem like it was a motorcycle. So
Right. Yeah.
So he always did that.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Always did. That's another thing he did too. He always fixed bicycles. Yeah, he kept on my bike, and he worked on them.
Piece it together.
Piece it together. Him and my daddy, they did that.
So they would work on bikes together.
Oh yeah. Sometimes do it by itself, and you know, him and my daddy would, you know, work on the bikes. There wasn't no new bike now.
Right.
Yeah,
Piece it together, find stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm realizing, man, the Brooks boys are good with their hands in terms of building. Yeah.
Well, I would say all that came from my daddy.
Okay.
And I had an uncle who would do the same thing too, which is Leroy, my daddy. He was a Miller boy, Leroy Brooks, and he would, you know, he was good with his hand. One thing, they were good with the hand because, truthfully, they basically raised themselves. And I guess they, you know, by them had to survive and do things, you know, not normal for a young man to, you know, grow up, you know. You know, they actually, their mama died when they was 4 years old, and they learned on their own how to take care of themselves.
Right. Wow. So how was Christmas like? What was that like?
Christmas was the best time of the year.
Okay. Smell the food.
Yes, smell the food. Well, Christmas was great because I remember very well during Christmas time, especially Christmas Eve. And my daddy used to be a longshoreman. And he'd get off work, my mama would be waiting on him. And so to pick up the toys and like that, and you know, and he couldn't leave until she didn't realize that until the ship is finished. And he'd come home and they would run up to the store, get the apples, the oranges, and the candy, and she waiting on him to go to W.T. Grant's, pick up the toys and whatever they had, and we back there, she telling us go to sleep, and we listening and, you know, see what's going on.
Put the toys together.
Put the toy together. Yes, sir. There was some good time. That was a good time, man. You wake up Christmas morning.
Yeah, stuff everywhere.
Yeah, stuff everywhere. You got a bag of candy and some nuts and oranges and a pair of skates, brother.
Wow.
Get them skates. Going to Crestwood High School on the tennis court.
Right.
Meet the neighbors. It's not nothing to have 100 or 150 kids out there at one time.
Skating?
Skating, yes, sir. Skating.
And playing with the toys.
Playing with the toys. And one was some cap guns and some skates.
Right.
Yeah, I want no toy. That's all everybody got. Was some skates.
So skates was the big thing.
Skate was a big thing.
Wow. What about bikes, bicycles?
No, we couldn't afford no bicycle.
Skates.
Skates.
Wow.
You get some skates, brother. You got a happy Christmas.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So you said 100 kids, 200 kids at one time.
Exactly, at one time.
Having fun.
From all neighborhoods. Every street in Crestwood. Crestwood Manor, too.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you have to go in the house before the street lights came on?
Oh yes, we definitely. My mama didn't play that. you come in there late if you want to. She didn't play coming home when you get ready. You got to come home when you're on time.
That's right.
Yes, sir. You see that sun going down.
That's right.
You got to
make your way home.
Take them skates off.
Make your way home.
Make your way home.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Tell us, what's one of the greatest memories that you had with Granddaddy? Being around him.
Actually, I got a lot of great memories of him, Chucky. I remember when I learned a lot from him. He used to love to build and make things and create things. He had this walking tractor that you walk behind. And the rest of the farmers, they had their own had tractors.
Right.
So he made his tractor that he put a cart behind that tractor, and he made his own wheels, the axle and all like that. And he can create some things. Yes, sir. He tear a car all to pieces, man.
Put it back together.
He wreck his car.
Right.
He go to the junkyard, get him a fender, and buy him some doors. He wouldn't buy a new car.
So the whole car had different paint.
He get 2 cars or 3 cars and put them together. and painted himself in the yard.
Wow.
I remember in my Olive, he used to drive the church bus. And the church, they had an old Wrangler bus, man. That dude took all the seats out of that bus and cleaned that bus up. And he sanded that bus and he painted that bus. And we out there helping him, Captain. That bus was green and white. He painted himself.
And drive it through the neighborhood?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah.
Got you.
Yes, sir. He could do some stuff, man. He carved Christ.
Right.
He carved, take him a 2x8 or something like that. He carved anything he wanted. He was good with his hands.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow.
He had big hands, but he could work with them. Yes, sir.
Wow. What were some of the greatest memories that you had with Grandma Rilla Brooks?
Well, I had a lot of great memories with her. Same as my daddy. Good cook. Loved to cook. Loved her prayer meeting. And she just all in all, I could say she was a great lady, a great woman, good woman, and she believed in being, she'll tell us when we are wrong or we're not wrong. She didn't never hold up for us. Whatever we did wrong, first thing she holler, Rayford or whoever, you'll be ashamed of yourself. You'll be ashamed. You shouldn't did that.
Right.
Yeah, and and she'll tell us, she taught us that never mistreat no one. She believed in if you see a drunk or alcohol or whatever, same thing. Don't, if you can't help them, don't mess with them, because someone else gonna come by and give them a helping hand.
Wow.
She was she was a good lady.
Right.
Yes, she taught us, 2 wrongs don't make no right.
Right.
And you're wrong. And which we didn't do what she said. My brothers and sisters, they believe in, well, I would say, someone say something to you, you got to. My daddy family, the Brooks side, there was some tough guys, there was some rough guys.
Got you.
But the younger Brooks generation really got the slack from what the older Brooks did. They thought it was, because my daddy them didn't take none. They thought it was the whole Brooks family. But it wasn't when it come to fighting, because my mama didn't allow that.
Right.
Not at all. They allowed that. She wouldn't even let us stay out after 7 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
That's a good lady, man. She taught us to. We had to come home.
Yeah.
You know, out on Dunn Street during that time, the yard wasn't on about 15 feet wide. You step across that line on the other side of the house, and all the houses were right there together.
Right.
And you couldn't go on that other man's side. You step across there, you got to answer to her.
Wow.
You know, you do what I tell you do. And she was very strict on her kids. And my sisters, she didn't allow them to go out, you know, to a certain age to hang out. She was very protective of them, very, very protective of them. You know,
wow.
And
do you find yourself thinking about granddaddy and grandma sometimes?
Like, a whole lot. Yeah,
you do?
All the time. Think about, you know, childhood days and, you know, which they had their ups and downs. They wasn't perfect.
Right.
But they never, you know, get back to my dad, if you don't mind. And I really, truly thank God for him. Out of my years at home, for a man that never had no schooling, and what he taught us, what he knew about life, to me it was great. I never remember our lights being turned out, never been put outdoors. He had 9 boys. And every one of them boys, they went, you know, he didn't make no difference in it. He had 12 kids, excuse me. He had to take care of. And he did it very well. Very, very well. Yes, sir. And his determination was not to let us come up the way he did. And he did a good job.
So like every generation builds upon each generation, you know. Wow. That's amazing, man.
And he was strict on going to school. You know, he said he gave us excuse me, Chuck. Actually, we had to go to school, go to work, or go in the military.
Right.
Other than that, you know, you're not staying in his house and do nothing. So you got to do something.
Yeah. So how did you make the decision of becoming who you are today? What inspired you to become, you know, you say you was a longshoreman.
But truthfully, my mom and dad had made a decision.
Okay.
Made me, I'm gonna say all my brothers and sisters, being what we are today. I'm not saying that we're something great, but I can tell you about my mom and dad, they was hard, they were strict on us. We had to do right or else. That's where it was. And you didn't want the else.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, my mom and dad, they really, really made a big part of my life, what I am today. You know, and not that I was something special.
Right.
But I never been part of I can't, the words anyway, I thank God for them, part of my life. They really did.
They shaped you too.
They shaped me, my mom and dad. That's, you know, and along with my brothers and sisters. Yeah, they did, you know, Spook It and Doot and, you know, and.
You had mentioned.
I can tell from what all of my brothers and sisters, where they came out, my mom and dad was a big part of that, you know.
Wow.
You know, and they taught us, man, don't nobody give you nothing. You got to work for everything you get.
Yes, sir.
And that was my daddy. He really, really pushed that in you know, into us.
Don't wait for nobody to give you nothing.
And nobody giving nothing away.
Yeah.
When you get something for nothing, then you're in trouble. They're going to come back to you.
Wow. You had mentioned that Uncle Spooky had asked you, you know, were you going to school? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when 1970, we was I graduated from Crestwood High School.
Okay.
And it was over, and we was going back to the school. We used to leave the stadium and go through the pass to get back to the school. And he met me, and he asked me, was I going to college? I told him, no, I'm not. He asked me, he said, well, how you going to take care of yourself? And these are the words, the first word I told him, this is the truth here. I say, you know, I ain't worried about that because they saying, I remember they were saying that the average black man, 33 years old, he gonna be dead anyway. And I told him that. And he said, well, how you gonna make it until then? I said, well, I'm gonna be a longshoreman. He said, how you know? I said, well, my daddy gonna get me out there. And I really thought a lot of him. I never forgot that.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing, man. So I know both parents were believers. They had faith, you know what I mean? And how has that faith shaped your life today, becoming the man you are today?
That faith, I saw the way that my daddy, his faith, and what he wanted to do.
Right.
His faith, he installed into us. And he made it with faith.
Right, right.
And, you know, and I go back to faith in Christ. I'm going to put it that way. Not here lately, well, I say last 10 or 15 years, I've been back in church. And they always, when we was young, we had to, you know, pray. It may not seem that way during the time that I was about, what, 19, 20 and all like that. But that faith really, 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 really
got you through?
Got me through. Got me through. And the way that I would say, and I want to use the word faith in the right way. And so faith in Christ or faith in my parents. And I had faith in all of them, you know, in both of them, in Christ and my parents. Because, you know, anytime that you don't feel your parents and Christ, you'll do anything. And you got to have faith in someone that you believe in. And I had faith in my parents, faith in Christ. And I found that, help me out a little bit. And I'm trying to get there.
I think when we have respect, our faith makes us have respect for our parents more.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Right. And
they put that fear.
Fear. And that fear is love. You know, it's like you love Christ. And you know, and
I get what you're saying.
You don't want to do nothing wrong.
Right.
Because you feel like your parents or Christ, this is not what they want from you. And you try to do, you know, and even in life, you're going to mess up. You know, and sometimes, you know, we always, you know, we're not perfect. Right. You know, some people may get away in certain, you know, and some people, God has stopped them in their steps. Right. And you know, and that helps. Yeah. And it's all depends on the person itself. How much do it take for them to try to go the right way? Got you. If that, I don't know if I'm answering that correctly. It makes sense. Yeah. You know, and because we all
it's a good answer.
Have done wrong. Right. And you know, and they say a phone call away or I can tell you one thing my daddy said. You know, he was saying that if you can do wrong by yourself. And that means if anybody know what you did, you told it. So so I would say a lot of things that we haven't got away through Christ, but through life is why some of us haven't, you know, got shot or in jail or because, you know, we just blessed through Christ.
Got you, man. Got you. 2 more questions. And they are, what lessons do you hope to pass on to the younger generation in the Brooks family?
Well, I often, you know, when I see my nieces and nephews, and first thing I'm gonna say this, I love what I see in them, and I would say my mama prayer, my daddy prayer, has blessed this family, you know, and my nieces and nephew, man, that you know they have came a long way from where we were. Got you. And that's a blessing to the Brooks family. God has been good to my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this, we have some people in our family right now, everybody's doing good,
Mm-hmm.
well, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to them, anything, whatever you do, if you got a business of your own, try to be smart about what you're doing. Because when you get older in life, time to retire, you want to be able to have a pension
Yes, sir.
or something to fall back on.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's good to be in business, but you got to be disciplined in business. You got to be able to have your 401k. You got to make sure you put into the system so you would draw Social Security, whatever. You know, you don't want to go and stay, and you 60, 70 years old, you got to go back to a family member, which is good too, be able to go back. You got to want to take care of you, be able to live life.
Yeah, once you retire, you want to be able to.
You want to be able to have a good life, older life.
Absolutely.
Right. Your older life should be better than your younger life. Because, you know, we already know we got to work for whatever we want and whatever we get. But be able to have something stored away, you know. And I would tell my younger nieces and nephews, grandchildren, you know, you go to school, number one, you know. We all know that. And be faithful to Christ, pray, and, you know, love. The best thing you can do in life, I would say, I tell them this, is to love one another. You have to love. Christ is love. Not just your siblings, your mother and father, because you got to love everybody. White, black, blue, Mexican, whatever. And if we can love in this life, all your police officers and all them, they could put down their guns and badges, and that's the way life's supposed to be, is love. If you can help someone, help them.
Got you.
Don't turn your back on nobody.
Got you.
You know, you may have to sometime if the situation not right, but you got to leave, call somebody to go back and help them out. You got to love. You got to care about people, not just for yourself. We're not here for ourselves. We're here for one another. That's the way Christ, I believe. You know, I don't believe it. That's where it's supposed to be.
Got you. Wow. Good answer, man. Last question. If you could sit down with your younger self, the younger DeRayfords, what advice would you give them for right now?
Go to school.
Okay. Stay in school?
Stay in school. Go to school. Well, younger DeRayford, I said go to school.
Right. Got you.
Yes, sir.
So that's what you would say?
That's what I say. DeRayford, go to school.
Got you, man.
And while you're in there, learn. Don't just go to school.
Go.
Don't just go. Don't just go. Because life, you know, I mean, I believe that God have something for all of us to do. And everybody's different. I believe that what we do in life, I'm not going to say is God, all, you know, he know, but what we do in life, how we come out in life, I would say we can't, everybody's mind is different. Help me out. Everybody's mind is different. Everybody's not going to be on the same level.
Yeah, do the same thing.
Do the same thing. And there's got to be some smart. There got to be some genius. There got to be some doctors, lawyer, and everybody can't be the same.
Got you.
But you do want to improve yourself through education. You do want to be able to
move.
Move in life.
Yes,
not
sir.
stand
Yes,
still.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man.
I'm thinking too hard.
No.
Maybe, you know,
you're thinking right.
If you ask me that question again, I might have a different answer.
No, you answered. You answered correct, man. I appreciate you being a part, man, and just sharing some history about the Brooks family. People may not know, you know, grandmother and grandfather, because a lot of history is lost today.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. And, you know, actually, as you would ask me about the Brooks family, I was thinking about the Person family, which on my mama's side, you know, and so, you know, but good that, I'm glad to be part of your, you know.
Appreciate you, man.
History. And
yes, sir.
I got something for you. I got a tree from the Brooks side, your family tree.
Got you.
Give you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
All right,
appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, Chuck.